Good evening. Welcome to another cast of VRML Orion Drift. Today we'll be watching a game between a Space Monkeys and a DRIFTI40. I believe that's how the name is pronounced. It looks a little different on the spelling, but my name is Martini. Of course, I have Alpha in the casting booth with me today. How are you feeling today, Alpha?
I am so psyched for this game. I'm taking a little bit of a break, but we're back now, and we got an interesting matchup with these two teams. One of them is like well into the season. This is rounding it out. It's the last game, of course, for both of these guys. But the other team looks like a little fresh, a little new. So we've got an interesting matchup for sure.
Yeah, I see Space Monkeys 5-7, DRIFTI40 0-1. Very different in terms of actual matchups. I always am on the side of the team that has more games under their belt. But I always have to acknowledge you never know. The other team might have been playing in other leagues before. They could have had prior experience. I've seen that happen before where a team looked like on paper, they have very little competitive experience, but they did a great job against the other team. So I get a little marker that the teams are ready to get going. But it'll be fun to see, Space Monkeys, DRIFTI40. And a reminder, this is the last week of league matches. And that's always exciting, right? You get to finish off the league, see where everyone finally places off. And it'll be fun to see where these teams go because it's definitely a fun time for everybody. As we go into the playoffs, it'll be where, hey, we're talking about the top tier teams, some of them even the best players in the world. That'll be fun to see in just a couple weeks. That'll be a reminder, that'll be in December, so definitely keep an eye out for whenever those get the dates are already kind of set up, but when the times and the teams get announced. But I believe this is like normally how it's done. There should be an open qualifiers, which I think is honestly one of the more interesting parts of the whole thing, because you get to see some I don't want to call them lower tier teams, but teams higher up on the ladder really duke it out with other teams and hope to maybe get placed in. But the problem is when you're one of the wild card teams, it's a little nerve-wracking because usually you get marked against the first or second seed, which is very, very, very rough and brutal. But we'll be getting ready as we get in to round one here already, Alpha.
Here we go. The ball kicks off toward the pink side, and it is Sifi who picks it up for Space Monkeys, trying to get a pass off to Nest, and it bounces over some of the geos and does get picked up by Wet Taco. Taco with a nice ceiling car, bringing it over across in front of the goal, and Egg Tree going for a shot, but it's blocked by JT Cox. Oh, and an excellent follow-up by Sifi there does get that in the goal for the first point on the board, less than 30 seconds into this match.
These teams are definitely not going to be wasting any time as they come right off of the press. But again, remember, this is Space Monkeys, a team with a lot of experience underneath their belt. Is Noob already getting a second follow-up. And you know what? I got to say, Alpha, I might be getting a little nervous. It might be a bloodbath if those two goals are to be said about anything.
Hey, we're not that far in just yet, but yeah, taking advantage of that open goal is fantastic. JT Cox taking it away again. Egg Tree with a nice stun gets him to drop the ball, and Noob now with another open goal, moving back toward it, trying to get it there. Chili's trying to stop it, and Chili manages to knock it out just in the nick of time. Taco's going to take it back up over the corner, looking for somebody to get open, but JT Cox says, nuh-uh, takes that ball away and hits it right back in the hands of Egg Tree. Egg Tree going for a shot, and another successful one. Little bit of a bobble there cost him that point, but excellent gameplay.
Excellent gameplay indeed. Keep going. Never mind. I'm getting set up right now. Alpha. This unfortunately looks like it did cut out on me, but hey, we'll be coming right into the action really fast. Sorry about that, viewers. Gotta say, the spectator client is great sometimes it's not, and right now it's gonna be a hard time, but it looks like they just came in a hot off to another goal. 4-0. I feel bad for the cameras there. I'm sorry, y'all.
You got another point on the board there by JT Cox, taking it, trying to take it back over now, going for yet another attempt. Wet Taco with a nice flip down to CP. CP trying to get it in, but it's knocked out of their hands with a loose ball in the middle, and Miguel is going to try to get it back over to Mound. Chili now with a little bit of a breakaway, but Egg Tree knocks it out of their hands, sends it back over towards the sidewalk. Nobody's going for it, but Wet Taco picks it up and is looking for an open teammate, biding their time, doing some ceiling carving, doing some nice easy jumps over the top, over nest, going for a high shot. Successful. Excellent shot.
And there we go, 5-0 already. Space Monkeys coming hot off the press, and this is what I was talking about earlier. I think, Alpha, that it felt like it might have been a bloodbath because they are obviously a little bit more experienced than the other team. But I gotta say, this is great for the other team. You gotta look at the VOD and maybe take a couple of notes, because there is definitely always a lot of things to learn when you have your own cast to watch.
Close shot there, but Egg Tree picks it up, takes it around the outside, and does lock in that Mercy for this first round. Wow, you know, I'm always one to root for an underdog, but I think you might be onto something with a little bit of a bloodbath here for this match.
And there we go, round one going the way is Space Monkeys. Gotta give them the love of where it is deserved. 6-0, looking great right now for that team. Unfortunately, DRIFTI40, obviously gonna be a learning experience, I guess is the best way to word this one.
Well, they are fresh out of the gate here. We're starting their team. It's just their second game. They're probably still trying to figure out some of the chemistry and how everybody's playing together. Which, you know, it's a little late in the season for a lot of teams to be doing that. But hey, they'll be ready to go for the next one. And you know, let's not count them out just yet. We'll see with another match starting here right now.
Yeah, we never quite know what happens until the teams warm. I've seen teams before, right? They aren't so warmed up on round one, but they really come in swinging on round two, and I'm really hoping we see that from DRIFTI40. But again, credit to Space Monkeys. A Mercy is still a great thing to be happy about. I also got to acknowledge, I think one of the teams only has 3 players. I think that is DRIFTI40, so it does already make things more challenging for them.
Absolutely. We see Wet Taco pick it up again off the bat here, but Miguel manages to try to take it out of their hands, gets it to his teammate on Mound. Chili now waiting, biding some time, setting up a nice pass. Oh, but the Geo denies that one. They are going to keep their hands on it, but the pink team, Space Monkeys, hot on their tail. Chili just trying so hard to get the ball down to the pink side, trying to line up with the goal, get it over to the middle, but Wet Taco's there, picks it back up and takes it immediately high, looking for some open teammates.
Sends it over to CP, sinks it in there, and Space Monkeys up 1 again in the round. Only a minute in, but you know, again, this is gonna be challenging for DRIFTI40. Playing with a 3v4 disadvantage is very challenging, to say the least. So at this point, really, it's just how many goals can they get, how many consolation goals can they get against the enemy team. It looks like maybe the ball got a little stuck.
It looks like they paused the game there. Now we're coming back. Oh, maybe not. Here we go. We got all 3 pink team members on that side, but Cox takes the ball. JT Cox and has to knock it over to Chili. Chili is going to try to keep possession. They just got to set something up in the middle there. Sifi now just juking around Miguel. Miguel trying to get the ball back. Miguel does get it, trying to look for Chili in the middle, look for somebody high, and resets back to JTJ Cox over there. JTJ taking it up the front into the corner, and Noob takes it out of their hands and looks for somebody over on the other side of the mound.
And look at the speed on that. Wet Taco ready for the bounce. No, tries it going for the second pass, but it doesn't connect there. Unfortunately, Drift trying to move it down the arena, but again, this is going to be hard for them considering that they are at a disadvantage. Egg, though, coming in with a beautiful goalie save. And, you know, that was a great attempt by the DRIFTI40 team. But again, Space Monkeys just doing a really good job at holding it down and forcing it on the offense as much as they possibly can.
We go for another shot. Oh, blocked by Chili. Excellent block there. We're starting to see the defense come together for this DRIFT140 team. But Noob going to take another shot underneath all 3 defenders. Puts another point on the board, but definitely slowing down a little bit in the second round.
slowing down a bit indeed. I'm wondering what's going on with the Space Monkey players. Is their momentum just really dying down? Is DRIFT40 just getting a little bit warmer for their defense? Because that's what I'm starting to see, I think, at this point, as Egg moving it down, but it does have to fight for possession as Noob, their teammate, comes in for the follow-up at this point. Goes in for the cross. No, it doesn't work. Beautiful defense there, as Drift at least prevents it from going in for the time being.
We're seeing him get better on this defense. Wet Taco now trying to do a little bit of a retreat, maybe getting a little bit too confident, trying to bring it all the way back to their goal. Chili almost gets a hand on him, but Wet Taco manages to juke him and get out of the way. Got 2 defenders back now. Wet Taco going for a high, loses the ball on Nest, and it gets picked back up by this DRIFT40 team. Goes for maybe, was that a long shot, but gets rejected by a Geo. And Egg picking it back up, going straight down, trying to get it out, trying to juke. Ball gets knocked high, and Egg is going to be the winner of that little skirmish there in the corner.
Gotta say, Space Monkey's done a really good job of maintaining this possession. Egg moving it down the arena, goes in for the shot there, does go in, sinks it for Space Monkey, another one on the board.
Oh man, this 3v4 is definitely what's killing this DRIFT40 team now. I think if they had another teammate, they wouldn't be caught off guard quite so much. But JDJ now is going to try to be the quarterback, escapes down the sidewalk, but loses the ball on the ramp. Egg is going to pick it back up with an open goal, trying to bide their time, going for a nice slow shot and sends it in for a 4th point.
Goal after goal after goal for Space Monkeys. It's a minute and a half left on the clock. I'm wondering, can they get this into Mercy territory again, or are they just going to play this one out? Noob goes in for the long shot. Maybe a little too hesitant, but it doesn't matter. The teammate is going to be there for the cleanup. 5-0. I'm getting a little scared. I'm getting a little scared here, Alpha.
Yeah, DRIFT40 is starting to make a couple of mistakes, and it's definitely costing them. You can't afford any when you're a 3v4 like this. Gets a nice pass off to Mound. Ooh, with a little bit of a self-pass off the other team there. JDJ going for a long pass over the bridge, but the corner of the Geo sends it the wrong way. Miguel's going to take it out for a reset, and Egg, once again, the disruptor, going to take it out. Noob going up for a shot, crossing over to a teammate. Wet Taco going for another pass up to Egg. Egg's taking it high, looking for somebody open. Wet Taco goes for the shot. And sent right in by Sifi. Man, there's just a couple seconds left on the board, and they got that second Mercy. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
I mean, yeah, check out this passing play here. They had like a long pass from the top. They had a little bounce pass to their teammate off to the side, and things worked out pretty well for them. In the end, as we come into a round of 3, Space Monkeys looking really good right now, Alpha. It's 2-0. Double Mercy at this point. I'm wondering, you know, they obviously are in good shape right now, and on top of that, they have the player advantage. What does DRIFT40 do at this point? Do they just play it out, just really hope for the best, I guess?
Well, when you're in one of these 3v4 type situations, the best you can really do is hope to play it out. You know, at this point, if they could even just get 1 point on the board, I think they're going to be having a pretty good game, and they could call it a success. But here we go. Brown's about to start, and we'll see if they're able to respond and clean up their act a little bit to get one of those points on the board.
That indeed. I want to give a little shout out to some of the folks in the chat. See Sir Weddy there. See Blue Guy Bob. We appreciate you giving love to the casters. Giants on top. Someone said Miguel hit the money is an amazing player. Unfortunately, I believe they're on the team that only has 3 players, so it's gonna be a little challenging to really showcase those skills today. Is Wet Taco coming in off the top, trying to move it down the arena, does so successfully. Now looking for potential passing options.
Oh, tries to get a pass into the goal, I'd say, but Noob picks it up, sends it down to Sifi, and Sifi puts it in finally. We're gonna see how JTJ can respond with this one, and yeah, Miguel's definitely holding his own against his team, but yeah, with that 3v4, they got all their passing lanes covered, and Noob's gonna take it back up. 1v1 on the goalie, and it's blocked. Excellent save there. They got another defender down there. Chili's gonna try to get it out, just clear that ball out of there. Looks like, oh, that's lined up. Oh, but oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
You know, I love it when a team gets a little too confident, because I can see it. I can see them being very confident right now. And that's one of the things about this game. When you're playing too aggressive, you can take those long shots, and if it's relatively accurate, it's going to be going in. Another long shot.
Oh, it bounces up. Egg's going to knock it out of the goal there. JDJ tries to get there just a little bit behind, but we're definitely seeing this Space Monkeys team start to slow down. Egg is going to take it underneath Sewers and pops back out, waiting for somebody to get open maybe. Going high, got two teammates for a cross, trying to solo, and that solo is successful against Miguel there. It's up 2-1 now for this Space Monkeys team.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is that the play? Just go for long shots when they play too aggressive, because it looks like they don't really have a back line. They're just playing the aggressive 4 players in. Never mind, Wataco coming in with possession, goes in, walks it in. Never mind, I thought they were going to walk it in. They're going to get little style points there.
Wow. Wow, yeah, excellent shot by Space Monkeys there, and we're seeing Drift140 start to figure this out. But those long shots are definitely the key to this. But as they start to make some of these mistakes here, and as Space Monkey starts to catch on, looks like it might not be working as good as it did for those first couple. Wet Taco's taking it over, looking for somebody on mound, knocked out by JDJ, and Egg Tree picks it back up, going for another really long reset all the way back home. That's such a risky move. When you've got this other team by a player, man, I don't know. Egg's going high now, going up over the halo, over nest, over across the ceiling, goes for another long shot, and there's nobody in the goal. Sends another point up.
Yeah, this is starting to feel rough, I think, for the Drift140. I think just showcases kind of the skill difference that we're seeing here for a team that consistently does play in VRML, right? Even though Space Monk, they don't have the best record, there's still a team that has played comp, a fair amount of times. We've seen another shot sinks in already for Space Monkeys. They are just on a roll.
Just another level of play that we're seeing. They've got Space Monkeys has all 3 players on that side. It's a triple Kiwi. Rejected by that Geo. JDJ's just trying to get the ball out. 1v1 against CB there. Gets it up to Miguel. Miguel looks to flip it over to Chili, but Chili misses the connection. And CB's going to pick it up, taking it back out of the Space Monkey side.
CP moving it down, playing through sewers, takes the shot. No, Egg Tree, their teammate, I think, accidentally picks it up. I'm not sure if that was a pass. I think that was an intended goal. But hey, sometimes you gotta rely on your teammates to save your own shots.
I don't know if they're just messing with him at this point. Egg's trying to one-on-one with Chili, takes it up over sidewalk, looking for a teammate, maybe got 2 people in the goal. Puts a 6 point on the board. We're real close to a mercy with just over a minute left in this 3rd round.
Yeah, I mean, we're about to see potential triple mercy. I will say it won't be a triple 6-0 mercy, but a potential mercy nonetheless. Cross pass over to Chili. Chili takes the shot. Noob reads it. And that's going to be a long shot for them, at least for a clear, I believe. As now everyone's going to be running to get their hand on a possession already go to the way of Space Monkeys as they try to come in for their last attempt here.
Ball bounces a little wide, but Space Monkeys does keep possession. Egg Tree just trying to get out of there. Wet Taco picks it up, going high. They've got Noob over on the other side, wide open. I think Wet Taco's going to go for a solo. Egg Tree saved it? Question mark? That's kind of crazy. All 4 of the Space Monkeys guys over there, I think that they know they've got this round in the bag, and they're just kind of taking it easy.
Definitely. They might even, dare I say, I think are fighting to be the one to get the last goal. That's the vibe I'm getting. Reminder, it's okay to just play the game like normal, just finish it out. Sometimes you want to just end it sooner than later, I believe. As JTJ reads it beautifully, takes the shot. No, goes a little too wide. And unfortunately, I think their nerves got the best of them. They went a little too high on that shot as 2 seconds counting down on the clock. Never mind, Chili deciding that they're going to play this one out. Who cares? Until the very end. Sometimes you just need a consolation goal. Cox on the back, and that's going to be it, unfortunately, for them. And 6-1 for Space Monkeys. Again, talk about very definitive win there, Alpha.
Absolutely. Space Monkeys crushed it on that one. And they gave up a little bit of MMR there at the end by not finishing off that mercy, but looks like maybe we're getting a rematch now. It looks like they just restarted the game. Oh, man, what a match.
Yeah, that was the 3rd round, right? I'm not crazy. I thought I did that correct.
Yep.
Yeah, let me double check. Okay,
that was it. Game's over.
Oh my goodness, I think something just wasn't coming through on the score. For some reason, their game's continuing. But yes, that will be it for us today. Congratulations to Space Monkeys and of course Drift140 for hopping in. I know for them they came a little later in the season, but I love that. I love seeing teams still come in and be newer and try to start things up, because hey, like I always, maybe you might not be able to place in the top teams for playoffs this season, but you can always come in and still enjoy the games that we have for the league. So, definitely Absolutely. A shout out to Drift140 for that one. But any last words here, Alpha?
I'm looking forward to playoffs. This is going to be an excellent season to watch, and let's just see where this thing goes. This is going to be a great first playoffs for Orion Drift, and I'm just so excited. I'm so pumped.
Yeah, I love, I was talking about it in the previous cast. I love playoff season. I think, to me, it is truly the pinnacle, I think, of VR esports, right? These league matches are great. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We love doing this. But I gotta say, nothing beats those playoffs. You get to see some of the best players in the world, the top players. Some of them literally, you know, master tier, and some of them truly world-class VR esports players, and we get to see them really duke it out and try to fight for the championship in their respective regions. Unfortunately, I don't think we're getting a World Cup anytime soon, but hey, one can only hope for the future that it does happen at some point. But hey, before we sign out, I did want to give a quick shout out to one of my personal favorite sponsors, of course, another Axiom, providing us with the game we love and for supporting this current season of VRML and obviously the upcoming playoffs of VRML. And of course, thanks for coming out and watching another VRML Orion Drift game. We appreciate seeing you all here today, and of course, remember to subscribe and leave a like. It's always greatly appreciated. Hopefully we can see y'all in the next cast. I believe, let me double check, there might be another cast. Is there any cast that I know? That is all the cast for tonight. Unfortunately for y'all, I'm sorry we don't have any more Orion Drift casts tonight, but hey, keep an eye out for tomorrow and for the rest of the week. We'll try to get more casts coming in, but unfortunately that's it for us tonight. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.